Curt Bartholomew joins us. Happy belated birthday, mate.
Thanks, man.
When was it?
The 14th.
14th. You're just back from Dubai, DIPC 6.
Yep.
With quite an outstanding achievement, hence the background I've made for you today. 100 competition gold medals.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Definitely crazy.
Tell me a bit about that. How long has that taken?
So this is the end of my 13th season.
Yeah.
My first competition season was 2009. And yeah, end of 2021 is 13 seasons of competing. I did like 136 competitions in my career so far.
Yeah.
So quite a few.
Wow. Do you know how many medals you've actually got in total?
It's right around 160. I think it's like 159-ish.
Yeah.
Something right in there.
And 100 golds out of all that. I mean, it's pretty incredible for any athlete. How was Dubai? Tell me about the competition. I know you were doing a bit of commentating. You in Genie, I saw.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really good to be back there. You know, we haven't been back since 2017, and it's been a long season. It was a really, really long year, so I was really looking forward to just being home for the winter, and then they rescheduled it because of COVID in February. But yeah, once we got out there, man, it was really nice to be back. It's such a beautiful place to do a competition, you know? It takes a solid like 5 training jumps to like just stop looking at the scenery and everything. And yeah, it's just so much fun. Really good. You know, we only had like 33 or 35 people or something in the comp. We started with quite a bit more, but we had some injuries and some stuff happened. Bunch of people dropped out that were there, but it was a really good level, you know, really, really high level of competing. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just a lot of fun.
And it must be, you know, for yourself to be there with Cedric, with Cornelia, you know, all the top players were there. So it's good that you're actually amongst your peers. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's always really fun competing against those guys. The level's always nuts. You can't make any mistakes. And it's really, really nice to be able to share a podium with those guys. But yeah, like you said too, Jeannie got to compete. This was her first time competing in Dubai.
Is it?
There's only 4 from each country. Nick Batch had to pull out of the comp last minute for some health issues. And then they went down the list, and obviously Jeannie was already going, so a couple other people had to pull out. So she was able to compete. And she started doing some live streaming of the rounds right when she landed. She was on the first plane for the first few rounds. And then with the rotations, we ended up having to switch, and she was on the second plane. I was on the first. So I ran over and grabbed her phone after the first time I landed like that and just started live streaming as well. People were really loving it. There's a lot of really good feedback from that. So we just kept it going, you know?
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, I have to say. I can see why you love doing it so much.
You like it, don't you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Obviously wasn't super great at it when I started, but started to learn, you know, a little bit about it by the end of the comp, and it was a lot of fun.
It was good to watch, especially with Jeannie as well, because she's, you know, she comes from a performance background. She's done stage, she's done acting, so she knows about presenting as well. Very, very good. And you could see you were picking it up as well. And it's going to be interesting to watch, actually, as you know, as your career progresses, because there's going to become a time when you're going to want to be throwing yourself into the ground every weekend, and maybe you're looking for a different angle in the sport.
Yeah, man. I mean, we can partner up when I'm done competing. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, look at us here side by side. Welcome to the Ocho. Yeah, what have you got planned over Christmas?
Just super low key. I finally have all of this week off. I was planning on actually training today, but it's pouring rain and it was supposed to be gusting to like 45-mile-per-hour winds. But yeah, just super low key with the family. Just hanging out with my parents and my brother and his wife. So
just tell me a little bit, Curt. Give me your view on this incredible comeback from Nick Batch. I mean, it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it was really awesome. It's good to see him back, especially at nationals. Like, Really pushed the level in a really good way.
Yeah.
I really enjoy competing against him because we're so evenly matched. It's just a lot of fun, you know, in pretty much every event. He's a little better than me in distance. I'm a little better than him usually in like zone act or something, but
Yeah.
we're so evenly matched, and even in freestyle. So it it just makes the comps really exciting. Yeah, he came back, did a lot of training. I know he worked really hard. He was really hurt for a couple of years, and I know it was a bit rough on him trying to come back and get as much training as he could right before the comp. But yeah, it was super nice competing with him. I think going into the last round, there was only like a point and a half between the two of us. And I mean, that's just happened so many times in so many different competitions. I mean, there was one comp, it was a 12-round comp, and it was the same thing. Going into the 12th round, we were a point and a half apart, you know. Just makes for a really exciting finish. But yeah, it was really fun nationals.
Talk me through a little bit about these new rules now that we saw coming out there in Dubai, and they're going to be used as well for the World Games in Alabama. What's your take on it?
So yeah, they're really only for the World Games. We probably won't see them much after that. There's always potential for like, you know, random competitions or throwing it in for one round or whatever. Yeah. But we're competing at the World Games. We're competing on at a racetrack, the Barber Motorsports Park, where basically they're building a pond in an auxiliary parking lot. So it's pretty small, and there's giant trees, right, like all around. So they're basically they're using these rules to try to restrict how far we're going. Is what's going on. Yeah. So we probably won't see them much after the World Games. They just normally we have a test event at the location of the World Games the year prior, just to make sure the facility's up to par, to make sure the organizers kind of have some practice or know what's going on. Obviously, with COVID, that didn't happen. Everything's running behind, including building it and all this stuff. So they kind of asked the DIPC to kind of test these rules out so that they could kind of tweak them and just see if they worked or not, did what they were planning. But yeah, I mean, speed wasn't much different. It was just dragging. You just drag before the entry gate, like the normal distance rules, I should say. Yeah. That was pretty fun. I still took my smallest canopy, which is obviously quite difficult to drag with. So some people are opting to jump a slightly bigger canopy, and some people didn't. But yeah, it didn't change too much with that. It just made it a little more boring for us exiting the course, right? Because we hit the entry gate going a lot, you know, really fast. But since we're dragging, we're way deeper. And as you round the middle gate, it just isn't quite as exciting for us because you're just slowing down, losing all kinds of power. Right. Distance was definitely interesting. It was like zone distance, they called it. So there's 6 different zones to drag, and there's point values. And I mean, they were even talking about they might change some of the point values or something. But so some people had some strategy. It didn't really seem like it affected much different strategies. But yeah, you just had to drag a lot of water, and then our 50-meter gate was 50 meters from the edge of the pond. So by the time, if you dragged all the gates, I mean, you were going about 100 meters-ish before you could pop up. So really, we weren't able to pop up. Yeah. And again, that's just to restrict how far we're going. Right. We're still going to have plenty of room, but we only have about 200 meters from the entry gate to basically some trees and stuff. Yeah. So it's going to be fine because we can't compete in high winds anyways out there, just because of the trees. They're going to create turbulence and things. But yeah, it's just it shook things up a little bit, but not really. Like obviously everybody still kind of performed the way you'd expect, and the top guys in distance were still at the top and all that kind of stuff. So it's different. I mean, it was fun. It takes a little bit of the pressure off and nailing the gate perfect, because if you didn't, you just didn't get all the points, but you didn't get a 0. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun to change it up for sure.
And with Alabama, how much practice will you get, do you think, before the actual event?
Oof. From what I hear, like almost nothing. Right. It might even be as low as like 1 skydive. Wow. Maybe we'll get a whole day. I mean, that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
A few years ago, not a few years ago, in 2013 at the first World Games I went to, we were only supposed to get like 3 or something. We convinced them to let us jump a little bit more, mostly because it was like 2,500 feet above sea level, and it was just a bit strange. So we asked them just to give us a little bit more to kind of feel out the conditions, so we weren't like going crazy in the comp. You know, it can cause some safety problems, but this is going to basically be sea level in Alabama. There's just some trees around, but it's, you know, top like basically 36 people in the country, in the world.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have any problems with the trees or anything like that. So we just won't get a lot of practice.
How are you feeling, body wise, fitness wise, mental wise? You got a few more years left in you yet, you think?
Oh yeah, man. So finally, like, it's been amazing this year. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster for me, but I'm finally fully fit after 4 years. 3 years of a serious shoulder injury, and then a year of recovering. I mean, it took me like almost 16 months to come back from my surgery until I was fully fit. It was a little bit into this season, because I listened to the wrong doctors. They were all telling me not to get surgery forever. And finally, I spoke to somebody that works with really, really high level professional athletes, and they couldn't believe they were telling me what they told me. So by the time I got surgery, it was really bad. And I had re-injured it again in 2019 in the beginning of the year. And it was 10 times worse. And then all the muscle was gone because I could barely function that year. So the recovery was pretty bad, but, now I'm fully fit. It functions perfect. You know, it's of course, I had shoulder surgery. It's not exactly how it used to be, but it works perfectly for skydiving. It's great. It's all my strength is back. That's what took forever, was getting my strength and mobility back. But with an athlete, they take a long-term approach. They don't rush it, because I need it to function for another 10 years. So it was just amazing not dealing with that after 4 seasons of just struggling just to get through. And basically, I mean, even in 2019, I barely did any skydives. I did less than half of my normal jump, because I was just showing up to comps, doing the training basically as little as I could, and then just doing the comp, going home and not jumping.
Right.
And that's just, I love skydiving. You know, I have 11,000 jumps. I've been jumping since 2006, and all I want to do is skydive still. So for me doing that year, it was miserable. It was just so painful being in the air. And now I'm back to fully fit. I did another 700 jumps this year, which is pretty normal. And it was just way more fun being in the air again. It's just like such a nice feeling. And I had some weird issues coming back, because once I got fully fit, I had so much more power that I didn't have for 3 or 4 seasons again. Yeah. So I had some weird results, and I wasn't flying like myself all season, but it was just part of the process, of healing and coming back. Wasn't really expecting that. I figured I could just get back into it, but I mean, 4 years is a long time. Some really bad muscle memory and just some other stuff, and it's like all of a sudden you just get boosted back to this crazy high level of power and speed that you hadn't had for a few years. So went through some growing pains with that, but just especially the end of the season, nationals and the DIPC, it was just such a great feeling to be back and be healthy.
And the surgeon, he's quite a legend in skydiving now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fully retired now. I kind of coaxed him back. He was pretty much retired.
From surgery, retired from surgery.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He had done a few in 2019, but he was pretty much done. But a buddy of mine contacted him and was like, "Hey, look, I got this guy. He really needs your help. What do you say?" And then when I showed up, I went to Belgium to get it done, because he was super well known from all over the world. He's had Olympic athletes come to him and stuff, get him back in the game. He's fixed hundreds and hundreds of skydivers, and he does an amazing job. And same thing. He did that with me. Took really good care of me. Checked in with me all the time. And when I got there, he actually said, he's like, "You're my last one. I'm done after this."
Wow.
Oh, crap. So that was a pretty cool honor.
Right. But that's quite interesting, because my shoulder's giving me a lot of problems, and that's interesting news to find out he's done. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the pyramids looked a blast.
Oh man, I love that place. It's like a big playground. So much fun. So much fun. We've been out there twice now.
Yeah. Yeah, the images you're bringing back with the 360 cameras now, it's pretty special, isn't it, what you can do?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I spent a long time, especially in the winters, you know, the last like 3 or 4 years, finding places to mount them and different mounts and stuff, and to get some really cool footage, really cool pictures, and yeah, they're amazing. They've changed the game for sure.
Yeah. And what have you got coming up in 22 so far, apart from the World Games, of course?
Well, yeah, we're going back to Egypt again. They love having us out. We go with the Sky Seekers group. They take awesome care of us. So they wanted us to come back out. We're going back out there in May. But yeah, we got another FLCPA season. Going to do another 6-round year. We're starting to do some big freestyle comps in the FLCPA.
All right.
So we were going to do a 5-round meet a few months ago. Ran into some really bad weather. We were basically on the ground all weekend. It was really bad. So we're going to reschedule that, do a small freestyle meet right after the first meet of the year.
Yeah.
And but next winter we're planning either a 5 or a 6-round freestyle competition with different restrictions on what moves you can do, trying to get people to do different moves.
Yeah.
But also just to help, we're going to do the normal 3-class competitions, beginner, intermediate, and pro. As we really want to help the newer competitors get into freestyle, because we held a meet last year in 2020 and everybody had so much fun with it. It was pretty small. Again, it was after the last meet of the year. We had some bunch of reschedule issues, obviously because of COVID, but man, people really had a lot of fun. They just didn't know the rules and didn't know the moves. And then when they found out like all that, the style comes into play, and even if you're, make some noises and like make bird noises when you do a craning, like the judges actually give you a little bit of some style points. They had a lot of fun with it, and then to see all those guys at nationals, knowing more moves, and man, everybody just has a blast. It's the regular CP comps are great, but it's just you have to be way more focused. You're just charging really hard. Everybody's just quieter and yeah, you're just super focused. But freestyle, everybody's just really relaxed and just having an absolute blast. I mean, it's so cool to see. So we want to have some bigger comps, really get freestyle going.
Nice.
Mix in some of the regular FAI stuff like they do for the World Championships with some like freestyle rules, like just how they structure the moves.
Yeah.
We'll be using the regular FAI like scoring system or style of scoring, but yeah, just limiting it to like a couple rounds of single moves, couple rounds of double moves, like two moves but separate, and then end of the comp is just free for all, like the normal national and World Championship meets. So
nice.
I'm really excited for that. I can't wait. I was really bummed we couldn't get this meet in a couple weeks ago, but I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, it sounds awesome. Make sure you got somebody going live with the phone. We want to be able to watch.
Yeah. That's what I want to try to get that going a little bit more next year, even with FLCPA. I got to try to find somebody that can do that because I definitely won't have time. Because yeah, hell yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, me running the meets and competing is already pretty hectic, so I definitely won't have time to grab the phone when I land. But it'd be nice to have somebody who's not competing doing it, just to have full coverage so we're not missing a bunch of rounds.
Well, I'm on the right side of the Atlantic. Let's have a look at it, see what we can work out.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be a lot cheaper, huh?
Yeah.
definitely won't have the budget in the FLCPA to fly too far internationally.
Hey, listen, man, it's good to catch you up. Lots of love to Jeannie. And
awesome, man.
Wishing you happy holidays and a fantastic new year.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and happy holidays and happy New Year's to everybody out there.
Thanks very much, bro. We'll catch up soon. Take care. Thanks, Curt. Bye now.
Awesome. Take it easy.